on Prep Huddle Live, join us on Truck Center Company's hotline. Very excited for today. We've got some great guests. We've gone way out west. We've solved the riddle of mountain time and central time, so looking forward to this. Perkins County coach Carlie Wells joins us first. We'll talk about the matchup with Dundy County-Stratton coming up. Then we will talk with the Tigers. Phalen Sanford actually coming up on his team's 3-1 start. Berk Brown always gives us his thoughts on the volleyball season so far. And Tony Chapman will join us with the Striv standouts and the Striv 5 for Friday night. We start, though, out west, though, where the Plainsmen of Perkins County are 5-0. They're ranked number 2 in Class D1, hosting DCS in our Channel Seed Game of the Week. Joining us on the Truck Center Company's hotline is Carlie Wells, the head coach of the Plainsmen. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Looking at your schedule, I see a couple close wins. I see a couple that are not so close. But the big thing is they're all W's. What have you been most pleased with so far from your team?
Well, I think our kids have had we faced some adversity this year. We've had kids set out some games, and we've had some young kids step up and play well. And in the close games, we've bared down and made the plays we had to when it counted. And even though, sometimes you face adversity, and last year we really never faced any, and this year we've faced some, and it's been great for our kids, and I think they've learned from it, and we'll build upon it.
Looking at your roster, I see 6 seniors on there of 28, so a little bit of balance for you guys between some experience, some guys that have been there, and some of the younger players as well.
Yep, we have some seniors. Been here 4 years, and they played for me all 4 years. They've worked hard, and they've really come a long ways, and I'm proud of what they've done so far. But they've set some high goals for themselves, and which is good. So. And I think all that work they put in this summer is paying off, and they've been great leaders for our underclassmen, our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, and they've brought them along, and that's important. So, and that's what makes a team.
Who are the guys on each side of the ball that you've had step up so far this year?
Oh, we've had quite a few. Defensively, our corner, Charlie. He's also a quarterback. He has like 8 INTs this year. He's done a great job. Tim McClung at linebacker, he's a senior. He's done a great job. We took a senior, moved him from a corner to a defensive end, Bailey Schroepberger. He's another kid that's really come a long way from learning a new position his senior year, and it's really paid off for him. He's done a great job there. And then, we got another kid, sophomore. We play at linebacker, Tanner Burge. He had a great game against Sedgwick County. I think he had 13, 14 tackles there. So he's done a good job. I mean, everybody's contributed sometime during the season, and everybody's done a great job on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I think, we lost some of our interior linemen from last year, and this year these kids have stepped in. They've really done a great job learning the blocking scheme and staying with blocks, and that's important. And that's probably a big part of our success. And then you throw in our backfield. Our backfield has tons of experience. Charles Johnson, at quarterback, and our fullback, Josh Johnston, and then our tailback, Derek Siss. Those guys' experience just has really helped a lot.
Coach, after Friday, you guys get your bye week, and then you play the last 2 weeks of the season. That bye week rotates, obviously, throughout all the schools in the 8-man ranks. Do you think that bye is going to come at a good time, kind of give you a chance to catch your breath before the last 2 games of the season, and then what you hope is a deep playoff run?
Yep. Yeah, I think it'll be good for us. Get everybody healthy, get everybody feeling good. You just get, as the season progresses, you get bumps and bruises and banged up a little bit. I think that bye week there, because the teams we faced, I think, have all been pretty physical teams. So get through this game. If we can get a win and play well, I think the bye week will do us some good.
But, of course, before the bye week is Dundy County-Stratton. Talk about the matchup this Friday night. What will it take for a W for you guys?
Well, I think you got to contain Phalen Sanford. I think you guys are going to talk to him. He's an explosive player. I think you give him a seam, and they spread you out a little bit. He can bust it pretty quick. I think he's a kid that's kind of a game changer. I just watched some film on him. One game, I think he had an INT for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown. So those type of things can change momentum in games. So I think we got to stop him. We got to tackle well in space. And then they got another running back, a Diaz kid. He's a shorter type runner, but he's a pretty physical runner. we're going to have to tackle him well, and you can't give him space. And then they have a linebacker, Kirchhoff. He's a good player. He flies to the ball. He gets off blocks well. So those are probably the three best players. And I think if we can contain those two, Sanford and Diaz on offense, slow them down, I think that'll give us a good chance. And then on offense, we just got to stay with our blocks, get out, and not let anybody go free.
Coach, in the grand scheme of high school football, what do you enjoy most about the sport, and what do you think that you try to instill in your players, that kind of football is the metaphor for life? What are some of the things you try to teach?
Well, we teach our kids that hard work, dedication, those two things. If you can do those two things, you're going to be successful in life. I don't know anybody, if somebody works hard and they dedicate themselves to it, they're going to be rewarded on their job and in life. So those are two things that I think are really important. And then, we try to build the importance of teamwork and how team can help you, in everything. So those are two of the big things. And then respect. You want to respect your teammates and respect your opponent, and you do all those things and you'll be successful.
That is Perkins County Coach Carlie Wells. Coach, thanks so much for the time. We're really looking forward to our game of the week Friday night out there.
All right, thanks.
And again, thanks to Coach on the Truck Center Company's hotline. And when we come back after commercial break, we will have Phalen Sanford of Dundy County-Stratton. This is Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Hey, what's going on?
Just checking the fields. Yours are looking pretty good. Must be doing something right.
Actually, I got a guy.
You got a guy?
Well, it's not just any guy. I got a channel seedsman.
Channel, yeah?
Yeah, I've been working with him pretty close to get, well, you can see for yourself. This is what I'd recommend. Let's get to work. Now, this is what you want to see.
Maybe I should get a guy.
Maybe you should get a channel seedsman.
Find your channel seedsman at channel.com.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Welcome back to Prep Huddle Live here on StrivSports.com. Now on the Truck Center Company's hotline, we've got Phalen Sanford of Dundy County-Stratton. Phalen, first of all, thanks for joining us today. What class are we pulling you out of today, right now?
I have shop class right now.
Okay.
So.
Any big welding projects or anything you guys are doing?
No, not right now. I'm working on a table right now for my grandparents.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll have to see that on social media later, maybe. Let's talk about the fun stuff, the actual football stuff. You guys are 3-1, had an opening night loss to Alma, but since that first game, your guys' offense has clicked right along. Take us through the season a little bit.
Yeah, that first game we came out shaky. I had strep throat and didn't get to play this game, but these last three, we've focused a lot better in practice to get the offense rolling a little bit, added some plays, started watching more film, and so everything's clicking on all cylinders now.
And we just talked with Perkins County coach Carlie Wells, and he was kind of gloating about you, watching you on film. You have the ability to kind of get to the end zone no matter what the situation, whether it was an interception or a punt or a kickoff. What is it like to be not necessarily on offense and still be able to find the end zone?
Well, coach preaches about special teams and defense to win games. Special teams is obviously a third of the game. So being able to find the end zone there is a huge part and huge momentum builder for the team. The guys do a great job to open up alleys for me to run through and everything. So it's not just me on that.
And you guys have already played 4 games this year, and you're about to play number 5, of course, on Friday night. This is just about the time of a football season where it can kind of be a little bit of a grind. So what do your coaches do to keep you guys at least a little bit more interested on those Tuesday and Wednesday practices?
Well, we've kind of approached practice a little differently this season with having a little different Wednesday to keep things a little more lively, and all the guys come out. We always have fun at practice. I don't think anyone comes out to practice not wanting to be there. So we give 110% every day, and just having fun with the guys keeps things going. I've never looked at it as a downside to come to practice, and I don't think anyone else has either.
You guys get a big matchup on Friday night. Perkins County is ranked number 2 by the Omaha World Herald. What do you expect in that game Friday night?
I expect them to come out and give their best football, and I expect us to do the same. And I think it'll be a hard-fought game that'll come down towards the end, and we'll see who's got what it takes.
And lastly, Phalen, thanks for doing this today, and appreciate it. You're one of those multi-sport guys. We'll see you play football. We've seen you in basketball. We've seen you at state track. What is it about playing sports, and not just football, but all of them, that you think that those sports have taught you so far?
It's huge on the character and work ethic, I think. Just having to dedicate yourself and your life to sports really improves my work ethic, and so that transfers into the classroom and onto just working outside of sports and school. So character and work ethic is huge, and then I'm big. I really love the team sports for team building stuff, and I love getting out there with the guys. So.
Well, it should be a lot of fun Friday night. I know we are definitely looking forward to it. That is Phalen Sanford of Dundy County-Stratton. They take on Perkins County Friday night. Phalen, thanks a lot for today.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck with the table, too.
Thank you.
All right, we got another commercial break. More volleyball is coming up. Berk Brown with Nebraska Prep Volleyball.com. He joins us next on Prep Huddle Live.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays.
Hey, what's going on?
Just checking the fields. Yours are looking pretty good. Must be doing something right.
Actually, I got a guy.
You got a guy.
Well, it's not just any guy. I got a channel seedsman.
Channel, yeah?
Yeah, I've been working with him pretty close to get, well, you can see for yourself. This is what I'd recommend. Let's get to work. Now this is what you want to see.
Maybe I should get a guy.
Maybe you should get a channel seedsman.
Find your channel seedsman at channel.com.
Prep Huddle live here on StrivSports.com. Thanks to all of our broadcast partners who make this show possible on a Wednesday at noon. And one of the guys that we like to bring in on this Wednesday noon show is Berk Brown with Nebraska Prep Volleyball. He joins us on the Truck Center Company's hotline. Berk, first of all, how was your weekend so far?
My weekend was great. It was a great weekend of volleyball, and it's for me. The weather's finally starting to get to the point where I like it. I like that crisp, cool autumn feel. So life is good right now, Eric. All good. It's going really well.
We enjoy it greatly. A lot of people got to enjoy a pretty good match last night in Class D1. It was a rematch of the finals from a year ago. Johnson Brock gets the straight set win over Diller Odell. Looked a lot like State probably last year. Your thoughts as the Eagles upset in some minds the Griffins?
Yeah, if I can be cliche and old and tired, you got to throw the records out the window, right? When Johnson Brock and Diller Odell get together, it was. I was not at that match, but from all accounts and just kind of skating through things, typical great match between the two. There's really not a whole lot of difference between those two teams. They're both outstanding, great athletes. Some of the best players in the state are on those two teams, despite the size of their schools. And I think maybe the only surprise was that it went in 3, but gosh darn, volleyball is such a momentum sport that sometimes if a team just gets on a roll, it's hard to stop them. And Johnson Brock is as good as they come for schools that size. And I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise that they won, but certainly a surprise that they were able to get it done in 3 sets on Diller Odell's home court.
How big of a factor do you think, you mentioned home court, how big of a factor is that being able to play on home court in volleyball, and then just how important is it if you can overcome that as a school?
Yeah, I feel like it's especially, I would say the home court advantage is larger when you start getting down into the Class C and D schools, simply because, to be quite frank, there's more of an atmosphere in those matches. They draw. I wouldn't say that the attendance is higher, but it's certainly a more impassioned fan base for the most part. So I think it's big. Anytime that you can play in the comforts of your own gym, you don't have to worry about bus rides or maybe missing classes or homework that might, pile up. Being at home is a huge advantage. And so anytime that you can go in and beat a quality opponent on the road, I think that does great things for your confidence. And I think, it's the sign of a great team. And Johnson Brock is definitely a great team, and so is Diller Odell. And I think they'll get a couple cracks at each other again yet this year, just in kind of some tournament play. But if I'm Johnson Brock, I got to feel really, really good about it. And frankly, if I'm Diller Odell, it's my first loss of the year. Maybe it comes at a good time. Maybe it helps refocus some things and get you a little bit more motivated as we get closer to the second month of the season to kind of get that edge back. But, last night, I think the big difference is probably Casey Hahn. There's a big 6'2" freshman for Johnson Brock, had by far her best match of the season, had 11 kills, and she hit .435. Of course, Phalen Sanford is going to have her typical night. She had 16 kills, and Caitlin Simon 13, and Diller Odell has their 2 big guns in Juergens and Madison Hayek, and Madison Juergens 15 kills, Madison Hayek 7. So really, Casey Hahn stepping up as that third big presence for Johnson Brock last night, I think, was the difference, because Dillard Odell just didn't have an answer for that.
And I want to piggyback off a tweet you had last night. C1 seemed to kind of prove their depth again. Kearney Catholic, Grand Island Central Catholic, 5-set match. Kearney Catholic gets the W. You've said it before, but I guess a chance to reiterate the point. C1 is going to be very, very difficult by the time we get to Lincoln.
Yeah, I know I especially kind of went overload on the subject of how important it was for Class C1 to have a sub-state, and really the rest of the state have a sub-state round, simply because there's just so many great teams that even in the sub-state rounds, you're going to have, frankly, state championship caliber matches in the sub-state round. It is literally that loaded. You could look at of the top 10 teams in Class C1, every one of them you can conceivably see as a state champion. And so you look at a sub-state round where an 8-9 or 7-10 match, you could have theoretically an undefeated Malcolm team, playing somebody like Grand Island Central Catholic just to get to state. And that's incredible. So I think what Class C1 this year is lacking is maybe that dominant team that Kearney Catholic has been the last couple of years. I think Kearney Catholic is still probably right at the top. But 1 through 10, when you start going through there, there's not a whole lot separating them. And that is going to be, in my opinion, the most fun class to watch when we start to get to the end of the season and into postseason, because that will be some high-level, great volleyball throughout districts and into sub-state and state. And it's vastly underrated. And, a lot of those Class C1 teams played Class A competition over the summer and did really well. So, it's not to say that Class C1 is deep but not talented. I think it's important for people to understand that these Class C1 teams, I think you could plug just about any of those top 10 teams in to be in the bottom half of the Class A rankings, and certainly could make a state tournament in Class A if they were in that class.
We're going all over the place with our topics today, so this is fun. This is exciting stuff. But yesterday,
I'm bipolar, so that helps.
This is right up your alley, then. All right.
Yes.
Yesterday we had the locker room podcast, and we talked with Ponder Dix coach Sarah Dvorak. She mentioned that at the end of their regular season, they may not see as many quality teams as what they scheduled early in the season. They played a lot of C1, C2 teams out at Ponder Dix. And then by the time they get to state, they will see a different caliber of teams. So I want to get your thoughts on what you see as the biggest difference between the East and the West schools as far as the level of competition.
Yeah, that's a really tough question, only because somebody's going to wind up not really liking my answer. But I think if we're just – the truthfulness of it all is that the depth and quality of teams, once you get past the Tri-City area, the Kearney, Hastings, Grand Island, once you start to get west of there, just the depth and quality of teams is hard to find, especially in the lower D1, D2 classes. So if you're Potter Dix, I think they're sitting at 15-1 right now. They have some really nice wins over Mitchell, things like that, but they can't really schedule good Class D competition because it's just not out there. Now, I think they've got Wallace, who's a nice team, and things like that, but when you start looking at schools like that compared to, let's just look at some of the Crossroads teams, the Hamptons, the Exeter Milligans, those teams of the world, it's hard for Western Nebraska teams to simulate the speed and, frankly, the power that some of the kids closer to major metropolitan areas have. And I think the biggest difference from that is not it's not for a lack of talent for the kids and things like that. It's the accessibility to year-round training for some of these kids. I mean, you look at
Hampton, Madison Van Heusen's been training with some clubs out of Lincoln, has their setter. Exeter Milligan has access to, there's a great club out of Aurora that Lois Hickson is involved in, as well as Peg Hesse at Wood River, Matt Cohen Fairbanks. They do the South Central volleyball club that helps kids year round. And, you've got great clubs in Lincoln and VC, Nebraska, which has won a national title last year. You've got Nebraska Juniors that, is traditionally the strongest club, as far as competition on a national basis. And these kids, even though they're in small schools, they get access to that training. They can play at that level. They learn how to play faster, stronger, better. And those sort of things just simply aren't available for kids once you get past Grand Island. Steve Morgan does a great job in Ogallala. Don Matt, a great job in Chadron. And there are some places where they can go. But if you really want to talk about the difference, it's in the speed and physicality of the game. And that comes from kids in the western part of the state having more access to year-round training, better coaches, better preparation, and all that. So it's, I feel for Potter Dix, who has a great team and great athletes that kind of cycles up and through, but they can't get tested or can't really get pushed to even become better. And so if I'm that coach, I'm a little bit concerned too that it's going to be hard to simulate playing at that level once they do get to state, because they're a little bit behind in that area.
Fascinating topics. I love this stuff today. One further road and a quick one. Match you're most looking forward to over the next week?
I got to say it's probably, and I'll knock on wood here, but we should get Gretna against Omaha Scott on Saturday at the Scott Skyhawk Invitational. That has the potential to be one of the toughest matches that Scott will face from a Nebraska opponent this year. Gretna's sitting at 15-0, Scott at 16-0. Scott's been the clear-cut top team in the state from the very beginning, beating Omaha Marion and beating all the top Class A schools. Gretna has their shot at them this weekend, so that'll be fun. And, we're down to, there's only 5 undefeated teams left. So if, the 2 of those play, that'll kind of give us an indication of if anybody can beat Scott, because Scott's already got a win over Grand Island Northwest. They've beaten everybody in Class A. If they can take care of Gretna, then certainly they're going to be the overwhelming favorites to get another state title in Class B.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks then. Always fun to talk, Berk. Nebraska Prep Volleyball is the website. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk again next week.
All right. Take care, Eric. Thanks.
All right, another quick commercial break, and when we come back, Tony Chapman with our Striv 5, and we'll also get some of these Striv standouts. This is Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com.
Nova Fitness Equipment of Omaha has provided the very best weight room, track and field, and sports surfacing products for over 30 years in Nebraska. They provide Cybex, Matrix Fitness, Vertimax, Tough Stuff, Pro Elite, Stairmaster, York Barbell, Troy Barbell, and UCS track and performance products. From rubber flooring, strength equipment, cardio products, and sports performance accessories, Nova Fitness Equipment has what you need to make your athletic program successful. Contact Nova Fitness Equipment today at their home office in Omaha or online at novafitnessequipment.com.
Trucking industry gives you a lot of opportunity for careers because there's such a wide, vast list of possibilities and areas that you can go into. As technicians, these trucks are as advanced as cars are today, so we need technicians that can work on them and understand how to work the computer system and get them up and running so the customer can make money. These trucks are workhorses, but they're built for comfort and they're easy to drive. Freightliner builds these trucks for drivers' wants and customers' needs.
Back here for Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com. Tony Chapman is on the Truck Center Company's hotline. He is our senior writer. Tony, we usually do some Striv standouts. We do some Striv 5, some games you want to watch. Let's talk about some of the performances that we saw in the Striv universe last week.
There was plenty, Eric. I tried even today, let's see if I get it all right, to hit every sport so far that we've looked at in the fall season. So, I mean, we're like literally like is next like Thursday, I think, is district softball. Am I close?
Next Wednesday, the brackets should be out, yeah.
Wow,
so
okay, so it's a little
exactly.
bit later than that. But the brackets are out next Wednesday, yeah, and then it's the following week. But, yeah, very interesting time. I mean, the season's basically all over so far. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Cross country. I'm going to start in cross country and go to Millard West. Seth Hirsch, we have followed Seth's career for a while. He's a defending Class A state champion in cross country. He missed out on the Kearney UNK high school invite on Monday because on Saturday he was in Minneapolis and won the Roy Griak Invitational, which is I believe a combined like college high school event. Much like the Drake relays would be, the Kansas relays would be. So he won that meet up in Minneapolis. He's the top-ranked runner in the state of Nebraska. His time on Saturday was 15:44 over 5,000 meters. Let's do volleyball if we could for a while. And how about we go to a new school in Elgin, to Elgin Public Pope John. Liz Selting, a senior there. 6 matches last week. She had 61 kills. She leads the Wolfpack this season with 154 kills. They ran their record to 15-0 last night. They are ranked number 1 in Class D1, right ahead of defending champion Johnson Brock. Then I wanted to go to softball really quickly. We talked about York a lot last year, and they've kind of slid under the radar, I think, for most of us this year. But the Dukes are still highly ranked in Class B and led by the Nebraska recruit, Carlie Wells. She has they're 20-2, actually. So we say that under the radar. They're 9th all-class. They're 4th in the rankings, but 4 Class B teams actually in the all-class rankings by the Omaha World Herald. But Carlie Wells is, let me take a look here. I just got her stats this morning from Mom. The ERA is at .70. She has 210 strikeouts and 110 innings pitched. She's also leading the Dukes with a .475 batting average, but 3 Dukes are over .400 batting for the season. Maria McDougall batting .464 and Jenny Cadavy batting .439 for the Dukes, who again are ranked 4th in Class B. So I've hit them all. No, I haven't. Girls golf.
There you go.
Last week we had Lacey Fox from West Point Beamer, shot an 80 at Wayne, at the Wayne invite. She got a win there. She's a returning medalist for West Point Beamer in Class C. And then in Class B, Danica Bedura from Aurora with an 83 won the Holdridge Invitational out there. Danica, just a freshman, and we've already discussed her a little bit earlier in this season. She shot a 71 at Seward, which I think you and I would be happy to do from any set of tees, right?
I'd be happy to shoot 71 at Seward if you gave me 30 yards from the green on every hole. That's some golf right there. And you're right. I believe that's Danica's 2nd win of her freshman season. So sky's the limit for her.
A few quick ones, Eric, on football. Just a couple, since I hit most of those other athletes. But briefly got to give Austin Stewart another shout out. His lightest load of the season was Friday in a 58-0 win over McCool Junction. He had 18 carries, still managed 227 yards for the Huskies, touchdown runs of 64, 45, and 5 yards. 1,360 yards in 4 games. He still leads all 8-man players in the nation with that figure. And then over to Gothenburg, the Swedes got to 3-2 on Friday. They beat Shadron 37-20. In that game, Dawson Graham and Bennett Folkers were best buddies. They connected, Dawson the quarterback, and Bennett caught passes of 57 and 25 yards for a touchdown in that win over the Cardinals. And Dawson also added an interception return for a touchdown for the Swedes in that one.
All right, the Strive 5 now. We've got always we're somewhere around 20 to 22 games every Friday night in the Strive 5 games, or I should say on the Strive Network. We've got a loaded schedule again for this Friday. So who are we keeping a close eye on?
Well, I think the first one that everybody's kind of got circled, including maybe Stu Pospos, we previewed it a little bit on Monday, is this Kearney Millard North game that will be at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium at UNK. The Bearcats will host Millard North. And this is an interesting one. You know, last year, probably as Millard North went to the state finals, their toughest playoff game was against Kearney. Millard North had them down, I believe it was 24-7, and about right at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Kearney had got to within 24-21, and then Millard North tacked on a couple late touchdowns to win that one 37-21. But really been impressed so far with how Kearney has played so far this season. I think Coach Kuhl would probably tell you the same thing, and they've done it really by committee. Cannon Coster, the quarterback, leads them is kind of their leading player. But then Nate Berg, check this out, Eric. Nate Berg leads Kearney with 323 yards rushing, but they have 1,057 yards total for the season. So they're getting it done with 4 or 5 guys, and they really took it to Fremont last week in a 47-7 win. Quick start, I think. I think Kearney's going to have to get up early in that one. So let's see. Where else are we going? What have we discussed? I think we're going to St. Paul. Am I right? That would be a good one, which would be St. Paul and Centennial. And those two teams, really, I think kind of are both surprising. St. Paul 4-1, their only loss is to Valentine. Their schedule probably not quite as tough as maybe some people thought, but Centennial coach Evan Konecki, he's starting 4 underclassmen on the offensive line, and Centennial's ranked 6th in Class C too. I hope we get to see them before the season's all over. Again, they'll take on St. Paul in a good one, 5-0, Centennial 4-1. St. Paul. I wish I had my list in front of me. I'm trying to find it on my computer, but I don't. I know the other place we're going though is to Fullerton, where Coach Ryan Houghton has the Warriors 5-0. He has only two returning starters from last year, and they've got off just to a fast start. But their biggest test to date is Osceola, Coach T.J. Nielsen, and that kind of 3-headed monster rushing attack that they have. Did we see that right, Eric? Last week, Osceola scored 80, and they scored 62 in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, 62 in a quarter. I wasn't a witness to it, but I was around a team that scored 72 in a quarter.
Wow!
But 62 points in a quarter that's coming fast and furious, no matter where you're at.
Okay, I found them. The other two. Here we go. Are you ready? Crete at Aurora. That'll be fun. That was our first ever game of the week. Last year it was a week 1 game. But Rhett Harms and Crete, they're kind of grinding away their losses. I believe Elkhorn, Omaha Skutt, Gretna. So nothing to be ashamed of there. And they'll get an Aurora team who's 3-2, who traveled all the way to Gering and played 15 minutes of football last week. I'm sure Coach Peterson was real happy about that. So they got a 26-0 win over Gering in a game that was shortened by lightning as well. And then Ashland Greenwood will travel to Fairbury. Ashland Greenwood 3-2, Fairbury 4-1, a big test for the Jeffs as they will take on Trevor Nicholson, who last week was on Strive as well against Milford, and Trevor set a state record with 474 yards rushing on 29 carries and 5 touchdowns, all like were 60 yards. It was insane to look at the line, but Trevor's been doing it for 4 years for the Blue Jays, so I think that'll be a big test. Fairbury could get to 5-1. That would really bolster their playoff aspirations there. Jacob Johnson, the good runner for the Jeffs. And I think I added a 6th because, I'm just like that. But if you don't want to watch the Ryder Cup on Friday afternoon, or maybe while we're in the car driving to Grant. Number 3, Walt Hill in 6-man will travel to number 2, St. Edward. I think probably the biggest test so far for Walt Hill this year. And St. Edward, they've been really good so far. They've got a win against Harvard, who I think is probably one of the top, 6 to 8 teams in 6-man. So this should be a fun one, and it starts at 2:30 in St. Edward.
Yeah, and in fact, also you can see Harvard in action as well at 3 o'clock. So Walt Hill and St. Ed at 2:30, and at 3 o'clock Harvard and Elwood. Also, you get to see Potter Dix. We featured Coach Dvorak and Potter Dix in the Locker Room podcast yesterday that got posted. You can actually watch them in action as they host South Platte at 5 o'clock on this Friday, and then the football teams play later that night. The old volleyball, football doubleheader. That's old school, right? That, Tony. That's what you and I grew up with. And then our Channel Seed game of the week, we mentioned it several times. It's Perkins County. They're ranked number 2. They host Dundy County-Stratton. It will be in Grant. A big trip west for us. Looking forward to it. And a lot of tradition-rich football out there in the southwest part of the state.
Well, the first thing we're going to do, Eric and Austin, is we're going to get to Grant High or Perkins County High early, and we're going to walk down and look at all the trophies.
Right.
And we're going to look at all those team pictures. We'll see Bill Jackman. And so we're gonna make sure that we get a little history lesson out in Grant, because I think that's gonna be a fun trip for us, and to be able to be there. But anyway, Perkins County. Carlie Wells, of course, he was a very successful coach at Elgin Public Pope John for a long time. This is his second year out in Grant as they've gone down to 8-man from C2 11-man, and they've been doing really good things. I think if I'm looking right, I think they've only lost 2 8-man games since they started. So they're led, of course, by the quarterback. And you might have updated stats, but their max prep stats are not updated. But Charles Johnson, no, not the former Colorado quarterback, Charles Johnson from Perkins County, kind of leads them. And then Derek Siss, a very talented tailback, and they run kind of a 2-headed monster with them. And then also their third back is Josh Johnston, who does some nice things as well. So Perkins County is ranked second. They kind of were upset last year. I believe that was in the round of 16 with Clearwater Orchard, when Clearwater Orchard came down there with Big Andy Kirkman and a really nice team and upset them in the playoffs. But they've beat, I believe, Cambridge already, and they beat Hemingford last week. So they beat some good teams out there. And this is another big test because Dundy County-Stratton is 3-1, and we know how good of an athlete Phalen Sanford is. We watched him pole vault last year. He's a high jumper, just a really good athlete. And I think the supporting cast at Dundy County-Stratton is there and with him. But it's going to take a real good effort for Dundy County-Stratton to play with Perkins County. But I think this one will be fun when in the Mountain Time Zone. Our first trip out there, it should be really fun.
Yeah, and we just heard from Phalen. He actually missed opening night with Alma with strep throat, so he didn't get to play in their only loss of the season. So, will that even the playing field a little bit? We are definitely
makes me look a little different at the matchup. That's for sure,
doesn't it? For Friday night, Tony. Coming up this week, we've got On the Sideline on StrivSports.com.
We do, and we went to Malcolm trying to do something a little bit different, but we're going to feature, Eric, both their softball and volleyball teams. We talked about Twin Rivers' success that way, and again, we envy the basketball coach at Malcolm for the winner, but the softball team, Coach Andrew Edwards, they are 18-5 on the season. They've only lost one Class C game. That's the defending champion Conestoga. They're going to get a chance to avenge that loss tomorrow, so we'll kind of preview that one a little bit and talk about their season. And then we'll also talk to Coach Amber Dolliver of the volleyball team, Haley Densberger, the Nebraska pledge for Malcolm, and they, I believe, are 17-0. They've not lost a set. One of those few teams out there who's not lost a set. I think we're going to talk later this afternoon, but I think her team is ready for a challenge. They've not really been challenged much this year, and they'll get one tomorrow night when they play 15-1 North Bend Central, and that'll be a game that you can watch on Striv as well.
All of it. We just we're slowly taking over the hashtag NEB Preps scene, are we not? Tony, thanks a lot, and can't wait for Friday, man.
Yeah, me neither.
All right. Well, again, we always want to say thank you to Cornerstone Bank, Truck Center Companies, Channel Seed, Dickey's Barbecue, and Nova Fitness Equipment as our broadcast partners. All of our guests today on the Truck Center Companies hotline. Again, a big thank you to Perkins County coach Carlie Wells, Phalen Sanford of Dundy County-Stratton, Berk Brown of Nebraska Prep Volleyball, and our very own Tony Chapman. That's what we have for this week. Austin, fantastic job with the new graphics. Love this stuff up here. Love it when it was down over here, too. Good stuff. That's it for this week. We'll get you next week on Prep Huddle Live on StrivSports.com.